Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today is super exciting and also very casual, if you can't tell. I got my Auric in, so if you follow me on Instagram you would have known I already had the Smoke Reflect in the shade Ego. I've had this for a couple days. I've only used it once though. I did film like a get ready with me using like my go-to products and Ego. I'm not sure when that will go up though, because I want to get this one up first. You might be watching this the day I film it, but I got in the other two Smoke Reflex, so I do have all three, and I have a Glow Lust in the shade Selenite, which is the second lightest shade. So I'm so excited. I've never been more excited for a makeup release. I'm not going to be going into like a full review, full swatches in this video, because I am planning on doing a review, if you guys are still interested, where I compare it to a bunch of other single shadows, and then I have a few primers that I will compare this to, just because a lot of you guys asked and don't like it's for the people who haven't bought it yet and maybe down the line want to know my thoughts on it. I know a bunch of PR things have already come out, so if you're not interested in it, I understand, but I know a lot of people are still waiting to buy it. So this is just going to be a first impressions / get ready with me, and that video will be me using it for a little while. So I'm going to use the Glow Lust today, and I think I'm going to use it as my base and just use concealer, and I want to use the Smoke Reflect in the shade Temper. I'm going to post Instagram swatches and everything like throughout this week, so I don't know if they're up yet, and if they're not, check on my Instagram. But this shade is so pretty. Yeah, you can't even tell how pretty it is. I'm trying to use natural light. I do have one artificial light right here just because of the winter sun, and also it's hard to get lighting when my window is weird, but this shade looks gorgeous, so I'm going to use this shade today. I definitely want to use Defiance. I think I'll end up using this. I'm going to use all of them in my review, but I'll use this down the line and I'll feature it in my review. It looks so pretty. The texture is so unique. It's like a mousse, so it is similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one, but it's more like a jelly. And it's so weird, but it's so cool. And the top part isn't what I expected. It's more like a hard pressed shadow. It's not as like flaky and glittery. It's very dry and hard pressed, which I think is not what I expected, but I think it'll give a very pretty like wet look effect on the lid. And I also think, I don't know, it's not going to be as like dramatic and glittery as some of my other shadows, I don't think. Maybe I just have to work through the top layer, but as of now I think it's going to be a very natural but very eye-catching, glittery, wet looking type of topper. So anyways, I want to put it on my face already. So, and again, I normally film on my back camera so I can get a little bit better quality, and also like with a cuter background and like with better lighting, but I'm literally like, it's a school day. I'm leaving class early to do this and just want to do something very casual, so you guys get to see the nice under my bed. But I'm going to use Glow Lust as my base. I've seen a lot of people do it that way and it looks so pretty, and I don't know, I just really want to try it that way because I think I will really like it. And I will spot conceal as need because I do have a good deal of redness here. It's not a foundation. If you don't know what this is, it is a luminizer. It's a radiant luminizer, but you can use it like as a base the same way you can use the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury as a base. So this is her. Let me find the box. The box is stunning. This and Pat McGrath are like the two packagings where I can't throw them away. This is stunning. This is heavy and it just feels so nice. The cap has like the gold dripping. It is like a little harder to get off, but like I already took it off like twice and now it's pretty easy to come off, but it still has a little bit of a tug where I know it won't fall around. So I did already pump this out and swatch it, but I didn't put it on my face. So here we go. This is the shade Selenite, and for reference, I am pretty fair right now. I'm very pale, especially here. I'm wearing a random shirt because whatever. And I have yellow undertones. I don't know my undertones the best, but a really good match for me is the Rare Beauty foundation in 170W, which is fair with warm olive undertones. So those are my undertones. I didn't want to get Morganite because I was worried it would be too pink, so I got this one instead. So the pump, very controllable. I know Sam is like, I know everyone keeps making a big deal at the pump because I said something, but like it is a nice pump, and I'm really glad that it's controllable, so I don't have to waste a bunch if I just want to use it as a highlighter. So I want to use a brush for this because when I touch my face, it gets really red. But I don't know, maybe we should just use this ColourPop F14, which is like a large stipple brush. I'm pretty sure it's clean. I think this could work. So let's just go into the stipple brush. I'm gonna grab some of that. It's like, looks a little dark, but when I swatched it on my hand, it blended out to be like my shade. I hope this doesn't have bronzer on it, but it's a bit too late for that. This is like a very nice formula. When I blended this out on my hand felt so soft and moisturized after. I wish I had some better lighting so you guys could see. Okay, it looks a little orange, but maybe that's because of something on my brush. Let's use my finger on this side. I definitely think using this under foundation too as like just a glow booster for your highlighter would be nice. It looks a little dark on me. A little orange. Again, that could be the brush, or maybe I just applied too much. But I will take a look in natural lighting, but like that looks a little dark on me. I mean, like even on my, I pumped out a little bit more, which probably is a sign that I used too much, but even on my hand, you can tell it is a little bit dark, but we'll have to see. Cause she said that like as a highlighter, like I saw her use the pyrite, which is even darker than this, and she made it work. It's just going to give a different, it like isn't dry, but it's not staying super sticky. Like it's definitely like a little bit like I can feel it on my face, but I would be fine wearing this without anything else on top and not feel like my face is like super sticky. It is definitely a little dark on me, but I'm gonna have to play around with it. It might be from my brush, it might just be that it just is a little dark for me. But like it didn't give me coverage, but for some reason I feel like my skin just looks a little bit more even. Wow, yeah, this looks dark on me because this is what I looked like before the pandemic hit. But again, I'll keep playing with it. Okay, so like you saw in the light, it is a little bit dark, but it's not adding coverage. I just think it added a bit of warmth, and like it's not so dark where it looks like I'm wearing the wrong foundation shade. It just looks like my face is a little bit tan. Like I think I'm still glad I got this shade because like obviously it is darker than me, but as a highlight it'll work, and I think under foundation or mixed into foundations it'll work because it still has that yellow undertone. I just think as a base it might be too tan for me. But I put this all over my face and I feel like I don't look like a Tin Man. Like I'm definitely glowy. Like I'm glowing everywhere from every place on my skin. But I still feel normal. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, it's not too metallic and it feels nice and hydrating. It's a little bit tacky, but the same way like the same way my Glow Recipe like primer feels like a bit tacky, but I still wear that with no makeup. Yeah, I think this shade will work for me. Let me put some concealer on. Honestly, there isn't a ton of coverage on this, but I still feel like, why do I always lose my concealer? Anyways, I still feel like this is a good base. Like I feel like it just kind of reduced my redness. Like it's not covering anything, it's not gonna cover any acne, but it's not emphasizing anything, and it just kind of makes me look put together. So I'm gonna go in with my Kosas concealer a little bit under my eyes. I'm gonna do like a swipe on my cheeks just to kind of even out my skin, and I'm gonna put a little bit there. This isn't going to be like a super informative Auric video. I'm just kind of want to talk to you guys too. I want to try a new concealer. I know I shouldn't, so you guys should probably talk me out of it, but in the Sephora sale I kind of want to get the Pat McGrath one because I heard that one's really good, but I need to look up more reviews on that. And I also, Kyla recently got the Dior concealer and she posted on her Instagram stories that it was really nice. So I kind of just want to try a new one. I have 3 in my collection right now, which is a really good number for me. And honestly, like, when I find a concealer I like, that's all I really need. And I love all 3 concealers I have. I don't know, kind of in the mood to buy something. I already kind of have my wish list for the Sephora sale because I have a gift card and I know what I'm using it on. Who knows? I'm trying not to spend that much money. The only money I'm spending is either money that I got from Christmas, which I spent my Christmas gift card on a Pat palette, so clearly not budgeting a ton here, but I'm trying to only spend my Christmas money or the money I make on YouTube, which I don't make that much money, but I make a little bit, which I don't want to just spend on makeup just to spend on it, but it will like make me feel better about buying from the Sephora sale because I am a student and I don't make any money whatsoever, and my savings account isn't looking bad, but I would rather it be higher because you never know. So that actually blended so nicely with the Glow Lust. So that blended so nicely, and I feel like it's definitely darker than like my chest, but you can't really tell, you know? Like you definitely can, but because it's not a foundation, you don't have that harsh line. And I like love that coverage around my face, and I'm glad I got this. I'm gonna set you back down on the desk. My desk is a mess right now, and also my phone is dying, which is why we're sitting over here so we can charge it. I did an orgo exam yesterday, so I feel like I'm finally catching up, but like that doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Let me get some light on me. Like it's dark, and from far away it's like, okay, you're wearing, like you got a bit of a tan on your face, but I feel like because it's not a foundation, it doesn't look like I'm wearing the wrong shade of makeup. And also I put a little bit of concealer on my cheeks, which is what I normally do, and like the coverage on my face is fine. My nose is looking a bit red, which I'll just take whatever's left on my concealer brush and cover that up, but I actually really like that. My skin feels nice and moisturized without being too like wet. Like I'm glowy, but I'm not super dewy, which is what I like. So yeah, definitely a little bit dark for me, but I don't regret the shade I got. I feel like it'll be more versatile in the summer and it'll work fine as a highlight and everything. So I'll do what I normally do. I always go in with bronzer, then do my eyes, and then do blush, just because I feel like bronzer makes my face feel a little bit more complete, but I don't want to put on any blush shade that might contradict the eye look. This is Fenty Butter Biscuit, the cream bronzer. Just applying a little bit because I feel like I don't need a ton, but also because I feel a little bit more bronze, so I feel like I can get away with some bronzer because when I'm fair, I don't like bronzer that much. So, not a ton of bronzer, but again, not what I'm into right now. So I'm going to apply Temper, which is right here, and I'm going to put on my normal way I would apply eyeshadow. So I'm going to put on a little bit of eye primer. Use the Fenty one and just a tiny dot. That's all you need. And I'm gonna try. I used Ego and I really liked it, but because it was a color that I'm not used to, I kind of freaked out a bit. And I think when I was blending it out with a brush and doing everything, I was over blending, and it made it get not patchy, but like parts of it would be more sheer than other parts, and it just wasn't my favorite look. And I think that's because I was not used to using a gray. So maybe this will be a little bit different. So I had my Natasha Denona Tropic, which is what I normally go in with when I need like just a crease shade. I'm gonna just go in with Vintage Taupe, which is again just like a kind of taupey neutral pink shade. Such a pretty shade. And I'm taking this on my normal Morphe blending brush. Just gonna put a little bit of that in the crease, just because typically I like when I put my powders on before my creams, at least with the Charlotte Tilbury one, I find I like the look better when I apply the creams after. Of course, I don't know how it'll work with this, but I want to try and set myself up for success. Wow, my skin looks so good. My skin looks so good. It literally looks how it does in the camera. So I'm gonna take Temper. I'm gonna take it on my finger. I don't have separate brushes for my creams really. I have this Real Techniques base shadow brush, which I feel like would be good with creams, but I use it for powders and I don't want to mess up my brushes by intermingling cream and powder. So I'm just taking a little bit. It's again like a weird jelly texture. It's so interesting. And I know a little bit goes kind of a long way. Sorry, I should scoot in. Yep, this is my favorite shade. Yep. This is the shade I knew I wanted. This one blends, it's blended. Like, I put another light up just for the people that I know are screaming at their screen right now. That blended out like a charm, and it blended out sheerly so easily. Like, it didn't take a lot of work to be sheer. Now, I'm sure you could blend it to be a higher coverage. Or not coverage, but you know what I mean. Yep, this is gonna be a fave. I already know it. So I'm gonna take that base shadow brush that I was talking about, and again, the shade Vintage Taupe, and just put that on my lower lash line. I'm sure you could put the cream under there too. Do you see that? Wow. I feel like the sun is not helpful for anything. Look at that glow though. So pretty. I'm gonna go in with the shimmer on top. Let me peel off the little sticker on the mirror. Right there. And so like I said, it's like a little drier, and like on my finger, I have stuff all over my fingers, so ignore that. But on my finger, it doesn't feel super glittery. Like, I expected it to be more like the Kaja ones. I'm not saying it's not a bad thing, because I feel like this is a little bit more unique. This, to me, swatches almost like what I expect the Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal top coats to be like. So I'm just gonna pat that on top. It's super finely milled. You could just see it on my eyes. It almost just gives it a wet look on the lid. Not necessarily a super reflective look, because it's very fine glitters. Like, they're not large glitters at all. Oh, I take back anything I said about it not being reflective or pretty, because while that is different to what I have in my collection, that is gorgeous on the lids. And I feel like this makes it a little bit more everyday wearable, but it still gives you that little bit of like glitz. And this is right up my alley. Like, it's not, for everyone, it's not an Hourglass Scattered Light where it's automatic like glitter, but it is in the same category of like that mature sparkle, and you can definitely build it up. So I'm going in like twice. Do you just see how that catches the light? I feel like everything in this collection, which is two things, is just all about like it catching the light. Do you see how good I look? I'm sorry, that was so cocky of me, but like, I'm not sorry, actually. This is so pretty. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go do my mascara and my eyebrows, and then I will meet you back in the window to show you this. Wow, so pretty. You guys, I feel so good right now. This is so shaky, I'm sorry. This is like out of the sunlight. You can still see just how it catches the light. I definitely look a little bit darker, but again, I feel like it looks okay. I don't know. And then closer to the sunlight. Do you see that? And here's in the sunlight. Yeah, you did it, Sam. You did it. Just look at me. Cutest I've ever been. I'm so in love with this. I'm not just doing this to like suck up to Sam. I genuinely feel like my skin looks amazing, and it feels like I'm wearing nothing. I don't feel like I'm wearing makeup at all. And I know it's a little dark, and I know I keep saying that, but like, whatever, it'll work. And if you have the Kosas concealer, match made in heaven. They blend so well together. I can't even see where my concealer stops. And even if you like use this as a foundation, I'm just saying, just try it. Just try it. Anyways, I'm gonna go with the Nude Sticks Bareback Blush. This is in my rotating project pan, which now that I'm saying this, I think this is the second time I've used this and not written down that I've used it, because I'm trying to do a usage goal on it. I'm just applying a little bit of that. I've been applying blush farther back and high up, almost like right where I'd put my highlight. I always apply my cream bronzer right here, and if you don't, you should try it. I feel like I'm like scolding all of you today, but yeah, try these things, because if you put it, so here's where I would put, like here's my cheekbone and where you would think to put bronzer, put it a little bit higher, and because when you blend it, it's going to go down a little bit lower than you think anyways, and also just applying it higher just lifts your face and makes it look so good. I think it looks really good. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my Patrick Ta blush, just because I think it's more fun to layer blushes when something's in your project pan. This is She's So LA. Just one of my favorite shades, just to kind of go with everything. It's definitely a little bit warmer, but I think the shade kind of matches everything. And usually I like to, like when I layer my blushes, the second one I like to apply a little bit more forward, but this isn't blush draping, I don't think. I think that's more focused higher up and like here, but I've been kind of imitating that, more like blush contour, or like wherever you would apply your highlight. I feel like it just makes your face look so cool. So I don't know, this is just me telling you to play around with your placement of your cheek products, because I like it. I don't know. I'm gonna apply a little bit of the highlight right on my cheekbones, because I do want to test it. Even though like it's already there, I want to amplify it a little bit. So I just, with highlighters, I take the same blush brush because I find it blends it out better, versus with my finger it's too precise, and this just kind of blends it all together. Some of you probably hate how I apply my cheek products and how I'm telling you to apply my cheek products, but it's what I like, and that adds a really nice highlight. It's not going to be like a bright highlight because it's obviously the same as my skin tone, but it still adds that little bit of glow. You definitely don't need to do this if you're using the Glow Lust as a base, because it's just more glow, but it amplifies it a little bit. Taking a little bit of my Hourglass powder and just lightly setting that on my under eyes. I usually like to set the Kosas concealer anyways, because it is so hydrating that I just like it better when it's a little bit more set. This is also my project pan. Just realized I'm gonna film my project pan video and I don't have a Sharpie, but you know, it's fine. Almost done using this on up, but then I'm going to take a little bit more and lightly powder the rest of my face. This is such a light set, and also this setting powder is very finely milled, that it's not gonna like super take away that glow. It looks so pretty, and Temper matches my eye color so well. Just like my makeup taste. This is an everyday fave already, I can tell. Like, I love how my makeup looks right now, and it doesn't feel like I'm wearing makeup. So that's always good. Guess I'll go in with my Fenty. It's kind of irritate my throat, but that looks okay. Whatever, it's good enough. This is the look. Can you tell that I like love this eyeshadow? Don't love this lip. Doesn't match whatsoever, but there you go. Yeah, I'm in love with this. Like, absolutely, like, in love. Just, it always, like, washes me out when I get up close, but I can't handle this. This is so good. So good. Sam, congratulations. I will go more in depth in my review, like I said, and compare things, do a better review rather than a first impressions, and I'm not going to tell you if it's worth the money or not. But is it worth the hype? I so far think so. I think that this looks so good. And the eyeshadow is so unique, and its texture, like, it's so moussey jelly-like, which isn't as similar to the Charlotte Tilbury ones as I expected. I just love it. I don't know, everyone's money situation is different, and for some people this is way out of their price range, and some people this is just like whatever, let me just pick it up. This is high on the price range for me. I don't just pick up stuff like this all the time. This is the look. If you have any questions, leave them down below. But also, if you leave a question down below and I acknowledge it, it's because I acknowledge it but I don't answer it, it's because I'm going to answer it in the review, because you're probably not the only one who wants to know. I'm going to compare everything. I'm going to try all three out. I'll try some without a primer, with a primer. I'll tell you if this creases, everything. It's not going to be like a set in stone, like this is the final answer, because obviously everyone's going to have a different experience. Everyone has different skin. Everyone has different application techniques, but I know a lot of you share the same kind of makeup taste as me and have been really interested in seeing how it looks on me. So yeah, I think it looks really great. If you have the budget to afford it and you kind of have a hole in your collection that these could fill, I think they're really good. Again, I'll let you know. But I don't have anything like the Glow Lust. I don't have the Charlotte Tilbury one. I do have a sample, so I will compare it in the video. Then I have a lot of single eyeshadows, but no duos like this, and I don't regret this at all. Congratulations, Sam, on a beautiful launch. Hopefully this helps if you had your eye on them, or you're on a no-buy, or whatever it is, and you were debating getting these at a later date. Hopefully this helped you a little bit. If you want to see my review and you aren't from my channel, be sure to subscribe. And I will be posting that, I think, in like a week or two. I don't know. I want to film it after I've used the Glow Lust in a few different ways. I want to mix this in with my foundation. I want to try it more as a base. Try maybe using a little bit less to see if the color is fixed a little bit. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!